everybody, DeathsStalker here. So I thought I'd talk to you about what happened this weekend in Britain at the British Grand Prix for MotoGP. It didn't happen. Well, what happened was it rained. It rained a lot. And essentially, Silverstone spent several million pounds, I'm not even, haven't even bothered to check and see how much it cost, to resurface the track. And from what I understood, the resurfacing was to improve the grip, simply because asphalt, as it ages, it sort of smooths and polishes out and provides less traction. So what happened is they resurfaced it to basically improve the traction for the various racing bikes, cars, and sidecars, etc. And also to get rid of the bumps, because Silverstone actually had some pretty bad bumps. Now, on the Friday testing, or the Friday practice session, the bumps were still there. Actually, other racing that had been complaining said, yeah, the bumps were there, they just sort of moved them around a bit. But the track actually had a lot of traction, so that was a good thing. But then it started to rain, and on Saturday they were having a problem in a couple of corners of the track not clearing up the water. And it all ended in a horrible mess in MotoGP when Alex Rins was coming down the one straight into the corner, and he hit the brakes, and there was 10 centimeters, 4 inches of standing water on the track. And Michelin says they don't make a rain tire in history that could get rid of that much water to let the tire actually touch the track. So what happened was Alex hydroplaned, and you can actually watch the video on the MotoGP streaming site, or probably, I bet you it's on YouTube now. Alex bailed off his motorcycle at over 200 miles an hour. Now luckily he was okay, and he immediately got up and started waving, trying to warn the other racers that there is a serious problem here. And you know, Lorenzo ran off but managed to stay on the bike, and several other riders did. Unfortunately, what happened was Tito Rabat crashed, and when he was still on the ground, you know, in the process of getting up, Franco Morbidelli crashed, and his bike hit him, and Tito apparently flew 30 meters through the air and seriously broke his leg. I believe it was like 3 major breaks and just splinters everywhere. It was horrible, and he actually had to be airlifted to hospital, and he is making a recovery, so he's going to be okay, but he might actually be out for the rest of the season. And because of this rain collecting in that one section of the track, it made the track incredibly dangerous. Now, you know, it is really bad that this had happened, but like, you sort of question what's going on here. This is Silverstone, this is England. Like, England is like Welsh for rain place or something like that. It's like it's you know, it just never stops raining there. Like everybody I know from England, it's like if they get 4 or 5 days of sun and beautiful weather, it's like a fantastic summer, because they got 4 days of sunshine. I just find it flabbergasting that the you know, Silverstone racetrack, which has been there for probably, well, it's a World War II airfield with basically a track paved in around runways and whatnot, and that's where it was created. So it's been there. It's had rain for like 40-50 years minimum. So it's not something that hasn't happened before. This is not a brand new track. So what happened to the people in charge here? You just sort of like end up shaking your head. It's like, you know, the company that resurfaced a track, no, they're in England. They're an English company. You know, the racetrack people do. It's their track. So how can you design a track or repave an existing track that never had a standing water issue before until you repaved it? So, you know, as Desi Arnaz used to say, is Luce, you got some splaining to do. But also, so does Dorna in the safety committee for MotoGP, because, you know, they said they checked it out, but from the press conference, it didn't look like they, you know, really looked at it that hard. So maybe Dorna has to revamp the way safety committees look at racetracks. Now I know part of it is the safety committee is usually made up of people who are former racers or have been involved in the racing industry, so they're not necessarily engineers. You know, perhaps what they need to do is maybe contract a couple of engineers to assist with the committee to make certain that the engineering's up to stuff. You know, the riders themselves, they're busy racing, like they, as it is with, you know, 18 events up to 20 events, I think starting next year. They don't have time with that and testing to you know, fly off to inspect tracks. They have enough responsibility as it is. Now, Silverstone, they really have to do a full-blown proper investigation as to what happened, who did what, whatever. Like, was someone in charge of the contract not paying attention and checked the wrong box for the wrong type of asphalt? Or was the wrong type of asphalt selected because it was $15 a ton cheaper? You know, are we looking at a situation where, like Ford did back in the 1970s with the Pinto, where it cost $5 to put this barrier in to prevent car explosions, and they decided to save the $5 per car, and you know, the rest is history. Or was it just simply a bunch of bad decisions or inexperience? But they got to do something to make sure it doesn't happen again. Like, it's just ridiculous. So I'm still kind of miffed. You know, I was up at 5:30 in the morning because they had changed the start time for the MotoGP race. So I was up really early on a Sunday expecting to watch a MotoGP race, and instead I watched 3.5 hours of, but every 15 minutes we're going to reevaluate in 15 minutes. And I'm just mildly annoyed. How do you think the fans would be? How do you think the fans would have been in the grandstand in the rain, waiting and waiting and waiting in the cold, damp, pouring rain? I feel for those people. Anyways, I can enjoy the little twisties here. DeathsStalker signing off.